Coming up on News Live at 6, Block Party is returning tonight. We'll be live from the Carrier Dome with more.
Plus, on Moriah, Humiston has an in-depth look at families dealing with lead problems in the city of Syracuse.
And Ukraine and the United Nations condemn Russia's latest missile attack on Kyiv. All that and more. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Block Party is officially here. Hello and welcome into our final News Live at 6 of the semester. I'm Teagan Brown.
And I'm Chilekasi, Adele. Doors officially open at the Carrier Dome at 6:30. When a child is exposed to dangerous amounts of lead, the impact can be detrimental on their health for life. Citrus TV reporter Moriah Humiston has an in-depth look on the problem of lead poisoning and how it impacts families in Syracuse.
Exactly. Come on, you can't hold a grudge. Come on.
Being in elementary school and a twin is tough.
Sometimes boys are worse than girls.
There's learning how to play basketball, learning how to ride a bike, and counting.
1, 2, 3.
Lots
4,
and lots of counting.
5, 6.
But
7.
for Rashad and Devon, school is especially tough. At the age of 2, the twins were poisoned by lead from their home on Pond Street in Syracuse, giving them damage to their brain and nervous system. Their mother, Darlene Medley, says she was made unaware of the lead and condition of her home when she moved in by her landlord.
I'm still sitting in the same exact house that lead poisoned us. Like literally in the same house, and nobody sees an issue with that. I have a major issue with that.
The damage done to her twins is something that her family will have to face for life.
I'll never know what they really could have been. You know what I mean? Only thing they can grow up and they could be a doctor, right? But maybe they was really supposed to grow up and be the top brain surgeon in the world. I'll never know that because they say anyway, that they're not supposed to reach their potential, but I'm determined. I'm determined to be different, so.
In Syracuse, it's not just Darlene's family dealing with lead poisoning in homes. It's a continuing issue across the city and county. According to the Onondaga County Health Department, the number of children in the city of Syracuse diagnosed with lead poisoning increased for the first time in 6 years in 2021. Lead poisoning can happen in neighborhoods like this, where there are homes built prior to 1980 that might have lead paint scattered throughout the interior of the home. Lead paint can also be found in chipping paint on the outside of homes. It can be found in lead, dust, and soil surrounding the home, and even within windowsills. Oceana Fair lives on the south side of Syracuse. Lead poisoning has been generational in her family.
Our family story with lead poisoning started about 40 years ago. My family was renting a rental home on the south side of Syracuse, just a few blocks from here on Baker, and my brother was severely lead poisoned. Fast forward 40 years later, he depends on us for everything, cooking, cleaning, to pay his bills. In addition, my granddaughter was poisoned in this home before the renovations.
To help combat lead poisoning in Syracuse, Darlene and Oceana are part of Families for Lead Freedom Now, an organization for families impacted by lead poisoning in the city. Darlene says the fight for lead freedom is tiring, but it's worth it for her kids.
If I don't fight for them, who else is? Nobody else is going to do it. So, I mean, it's not like the city really cares about the kids, because if they did, then we wouldn't be going through the things that we're going through right now. So,
reporting from Syracuse, Moriah Humiston, Citrus TV.
Moriah, thank you. Hungry Chuck's is coming back to Marshall Street. The bar was forced to close back in 2017 to make way for the Marshall apartment building. It'll be taking over the location of Panda West. Originally, there were plans for the bar to open on the ground floor of the Marshall. However, those plans fell through when SU bought the building.
Today, SU alum and literacy expert Alan Berger was awarded the 2022 Tolley Medal. Berger is a professor of reading and writing emeritus at Miami University in Ohio. Berger graduated from Utica College in 1957, back when it was still a part of SU.
DPS has changed the process for students when swiping into dorms. Now, if students do not have their SU ID more than 5 times when swiping into dorms, they will be referred to the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities. DPS says this is now a violation of the SU Code of Student Conduct. In a statement, DPS said, quote, "We ask our students for safety reasons to carry IDs for entry into residence halls. Those who repeatedly neglect to do so are referred to the Office of Community Standards. This was instituted due to a repeated neglect by some to have ID for residence hall entry."
As we mentioned at the top of the show tonight, in less than 2 hours, the biggest music event of the year on the SU campus will go down at the Dome. Block Party is back in person this year for the first time since 2019 with a pair of big-name performers. Our reporter Peter Elliott is live tonight from the Quad with more on who's headlining the event. Peter.
Chilekasi, good evening. There's a block party happening inside the Dome tonight, but it's not because the basketball team is playing. Instead, the Loud House will be rocking for the annual Block Party music event hosted by University Union. Now, the lineup looks a little bit different than it did 2 weeks ago. If you were looking to push an EP tonight, well, you're out of luck. Gunna, the rapper behind popular songs like Pushin' P and Drip Too Hard, pulled out of the headliner spot earlier this month. Instead, he's gonna perform tomorrow at Binghamton University's Spring Fling event just an hour away from SU. Replacing him is the rapper 2 Chainz, who will be performing at SU for the 3rd time since 2012. Also co-headlining is Baby Keem, the white-hot 21-year-old rapper who made waves with his debut album, The Melodic Blue, last year. He's fresh off a Grammy win for Best Rap Performance for his song Family Ties, which features his cousin, Kendrick Lamar. Also taking to the stage tonight will be rapper 070 Shake and DJ A-Track. Past Block Party performers include Khalid, Gucci Mane, Travis Scott, and Chance the Rapper. The event has been a staple of the SU campus since the 1970s, when it began as an end-of-year celebration for the senior class. It migrated to the Dome in 2003, where it has taken place ever since. Tonight's event is only open to SU and SUNY ESF students, and if you're still thinking of going at the last minute, tickets can be purchased for $25 on the MyCuse ticket portal. Now, this year is also University Union's 60th anniversary, so they just got done hosting their birthday bash here on the Quad with food trucks, live music, and inflatables. But the real show is happening tonight inside the Dome. Doors open at 6:30, and the show starts at 7. Reporting live from the Quad tonight, I'm Peter Elliott, Citrus TV News.
Peter Elliott, thank you so much. This Sunday, May 1st, is College Decision Day. Students must commit to a college by late Sunday night. Citrus TV reporter Ilana Epstein spoke to newly admitted SU students about their experiences with the college application process.
One word. The only thing that could get a high school student to have a reaction this big. As the deadline to commit to a school is fast approaching, students are reflecting on when they received their acceptances.
When I received that letter, I was definitely nervous. I'm biting my nails, am I about to get in? And then I got in, I just got so emotional. It's wow, okay, so this is the next move. New York, upstate, let's go.
Rashawn Barksdale, soon to be an SU graduate student, was glad to have his family by his side throughout the entirety of the application process. Also coming to campus this fall, following in the footsteps of her dad, is Amelie Flam.
I opened my decision letter in my room alone, and then I was screaming when I got in, and then I ran downstairs to tell my dad, who's also a Syracuse alum, that I got in, and we were both screaming, really excited.
Both Amelie and Rashawn are looking forward to being SU students. They had no doubt that Syracuse University was the school for them. The two are passionate about their respective majors and couldn't be more excited to begin in the fall.
It's in New York, you can't beat New York.
After all, it won't be long until these newly accepted students
You got it.
become these Syracuse University graduates. In Syracuse, New York, Ilana Epstein, Citrus TV News.
Look at that excitement, that's absolutely great for them,
Absolutely, and I mean, the one thing that did stick out to me in that package, though, was the nice weather. I mean, walking around outside today, super nice out, maybe a little bit cold, but still pretty sunny.
A little bit breezy. Jacob Goldberg's in the weather wall. What do you got?
Yeah, Teagan, you mentioned that there's nice weather outside, and I agree. 51 degrees.
But there is 14-mile-an-hour winds in Syracuse right now, so looking pretty good if you're walking outside in central New York at the moment. But that increase in temperatures we've seen throughout the past few days, mixed with that increased winds, has actually created wildfire warnings across central New York, specifically in the south near Binghamton. So now as we go into tonight, 49 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds, and this is all going to happen during the University Union block party event that we talked about earlier. So, you know, if you're going to that event, while you're walking over to the dome, some decent temperatures, but make sure you bring your windbreaker because it might get a little chilly. Feels like 45 degrees. Now, finally, for tomorrow's forecast. When you wake up, 43 degrees, and at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., going to stay steady at 54. So we're going to see a decent increase in temperature in the beginning of the day, and it's going to stay steady throughout the rest. So 5 to 11-mile-an-hour winds once again. Maybe going to get into that double digit. So once again, bring the windbreaker, but it's going to be a little cold. So guys, that's all I have for right now. Back to you.
Jacob Goldberg, thank you. Coming up on News Live at 6, Citrus TV's Zach Richter sits down with Professor Chris Tuohey, who is stepping down as chair of Newhouse's Broadcast and Digital Journalism Department.
And we have the details on how Ukraine and the UN are responding to missile attacks on Kyiv from Russia. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Now back to Citrus TV News Live at 6 with Teagan Brown, Trey Redfield, Tyler O'Neill, and Peter Elliott. Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Chris Tuohey is the chair of the Broadcast and Digital Journalism Department at the Newhouse School.
Tuohey is set to step down in August. Citrus TV reporter Zach Richter sat down with the professor earlier today.
My first question is, what are you going to miss with this position as chair?
Knowing you're at the helm of the best program and having an influence on what students learn and how they perform out in the real world. I mean, that really is the best part.
So now that you're stepping down as chair, you're still going to be a professor here. So what is changing for you, like in teaching classes wise and your daily schedule?
It's gotten to be too much on the administrative side. The chair duties have just, ballooned in recent years. So teaching is the best part of the job if you're faculty. And as I inch toward retirement, I wanted to get back to doing more teaching and less administrating.
Will you miss anything from being chair?
This is the best department of its kind in the country. And I say that not as a brag or as an empty boast or anything. I think it's true. Just look at all the people sports and news working in the broadcast arena. Try to go to a TV station website and look at the faculty bios. Try not to find a BDJ or Newhouse person. It's virtually impossible. So it's nice to wear that badge. On the other hand, it's also nice to have your summers back. But at this point, I just want to spend more time teaching.
Thank you so much, Zach. Syracuse alum Anthony Ardonato is set to take over for Tuohey in August.
A judge in Steuben County and a researcher at Carnegie Mellon have the task of redrawing New York's new congressional districts. The state's highest court threw out the districts drawn by the New York State Legislature. They said it was a partisan gerrymander. Judge Patrick McAllister and Professor Jonathan Service have until May 16th to produce a draft map. The final version must be done by May 24th. A judge has ruled that New York's primaries for Congress and State Senate will be moved to August 23rd.
New York Attorney General Letitia James's office is hosting a community gun buyback in Syracuse. The buyback will take place May 7th at the St. Lucy's Food Pantry on Gifford Street. An announcement released today says it will be held in partnership with Mayor Ben Walsh and the SPD. The AG's office says it will accept working and non-working unloaded firearms. Those who turn in firearms will be compensated with prepaid gift cards.
So the latest now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is accusing Russia of trying to humiliate the United Nations. This comes after Russia fired missiles on Kyiv during a visit to the city by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
Guterres is trying to ensure that civilians evacuate from the besieged city of Mariupol. Around 100,000 people are believed to be trapped in the city with little resources. Ukraine has blamed the failure of previous evacuation attempts on Russian shellings.
Coming up on News Live at 6, all of your 5-day forecasts and your local temperatures across central New York.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Now let's take a look at these temperatures across central New York. So, Cortland actually wins the battle today. They have the lowest temperature across central New York, sitting at 48 degrees. Now everywhere else in central New York sitting in the 50s. Elmira, the highest temperature at 54. Syracuse, Penyon, both at 51. So, if you're in central New York, you can expect the 50s, not too bad, not too warm, kind of in that middle gray area. Now, as we look into the radar, you can see absolutely nothing across central New York, a little bit as you get into New England. But for the rest of the night, don't expect any rain. A great sign if you're going to block party or going for your Friday night dinner in Armory Square. Don't have to worry about bringing that rain jacket. So great news for people in central New York. Now, as we look into the weekend outlook, you can see the University Union logo right there. It's block party, 52 degrees tonight. Sunny all weekend, which is going to be great on Saturday and Sunday. The clouds will come out a little bit, but it's going to be 56 degrees on Saturday. And then we get to 70 on Sunday. Going to be fantastic weather, and I know personally I'm looking forward to that. So now going into your 5-day forecast. Once again, Friday, the weekend, I talked about pretty sunny, good temperatures. Monday, that rain will come back. That precipitation across central New York that we're all way too used to is coming back again, sadly. But it is 61 degrees, so don't have to worry about the snow. Now for Tuesday, 72 degrees. I know I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to get outside a little bit, have a nice time in the nice weather. But that's all I have. John, what's going on in sports?
Well, Jacob, coming up in sports, SU women's lacrosse begins its quest for an ACC title. I'll let you know who the Cuse has to go through to get there right after the break.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome into sports. I'm John Dales, and there is no better time of year for lacrosse fans than right now. The regular year is wrapping up and postseason play is beginning. The 2022 ACC Women's Lacrosse Tournament has 4 quarterfinals today, including 3-seed Syracuse taking on 6-seed Virginia tonight at 7:30. Now, barring any major upsets, things are setting up for a rematch in the semifinals between Boston College and SU. The two just met up last Friday, a 15-13 BC win. But obviously, before you get there, you have to get through the first round and UVA. Now, a trend that bodes well for Orange fans, they've had Virginia's number and then some in recent history. The Cuse has won 11 of the last 12 meetings against the Cavaliers, dating back to 2013. We're still a long ways away from football season, but the NFL draft has fans in a frenzy right now. Round 1 of the draft took place last night, and Bills Mafia welcomed a new member to Western New York. Buffalo traded up to take Florida defensive back Kaiir Elam with the 23rd overall pick, and the celebration with Elam's family and friends when they heard his name get called in Florida may have very well been heard all the way up here in New York. Take a look.
Kaiir.
Seeing the moment where someone's lifelong dreams really come true, it never gets old. By the way, Elam's the first cornerback taken by the Bills in the first round since they drafted Tre'Davious White with the 27th pick back in 2017. And White actually met with Elam before the draft. He said taking a visit to the Bills facility, he felt something special in Buffalo. Round 2 of the draft continues tonight at 7. Over to baseball now, where the first-place Yankees look to bolster their pole position tonight against the Royals. New York has won 6 games in a row with 2 straight series sweeps, bringing its record up to 13-6. And few people are swinging a better bat than Yankee shortstop Isaiah Kiner-Falefa right now. He's 12 for his last 30, with 5 doubles in the last 10 games. He looks to continue that tonight. First pitch in Kansas City is at 8:10. Meanwhile, the Mets just lost last night, but try to bounce back tonight in the first of a 3-game set against the Phillies. Tyler McGill is the expected starting pitcher for New York. He's been a breath of fresh air this season, going at least 5 innings in every start and winning 3 of them. First pitch between the division rivals is at 7:10 in the Big Apple. And when you're talking about the Mets, yeah, it's still early, it's still April, but things are looking great right now. New York's 14-6 record not only leads the NL East, not only leads the National League, but gives the Mets the best record in all of Major League Baseball. Maybe the most impressive note from this great start, they've played 13 road games to just 7 at home, so the statistical best team in baseball is doing so on the road.
Thanks, John. Go Phillies. When we come back, your final check of the weather.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
So when you wake up in central New York tomorrow morning, it's going to be 43 degrees. It's going to be sunny. I've talked about the sun finally coming back to central New York after a long week of rain. It's going to be a nice breath of fresh air. 57% of humidity. There's going to be those double-digit mile-per-hour winds, so that could be a problem. It could be a little bit chillier than the 43 advertised, but it's going to be pretty nice outside when you wake up tomorrow. Now we're going to my photo of the day. And there I am with the general manager of our station next door, Z89. That's Kyle Leff. He's holding up the Watson Cup. And for many people who don't know, we have a Watson Cup against Z89 where we play a kickball match on Sunday. And it's going to be beautiful outside, 70 degrees like I talked about. So all of us are going to get a little bit of exercise in that nice weather.
I definitely need it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You know, that's going to be a pretty exciting game. I am sad that I won't be there, but I will be cheering you guys on from afar. But the Watson Cup means that it's the end of the semester.
Yep.
And what a semester it was. I just want to start out by thanking Oscar Offerman, our amazing executive producer on Fridays. You have done so much great work at this station. You have made my life the easiest it can be as an anchor. I am so excited to see what you do. Also, a shout out to my co-anchor who couldn't be here tonight, Trey Redfield. It has been an absolute pleasure being with you this semester.
Yeah, thank you to Oscar, not only for EPing Friday live at 6, but also giving us the opportunity to anchor Talking Points as well. This is kind of a little bit of a reunion for us as well. But Tyler Melito, our director too, on Fridays has been absolutely excellent throughout the course of the year. He's been a great friend, great mentor. You know, Oscar's going off to Colorado Springs. Tyler's going off to Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes.
So great things on tap for them.
We'd also like to thank our news director, Lindsay Fine, and our previous news director, Josh Myers, for making this year as amazing as it can be.
And I just want to say, you know, I'm not normally on Friday News Live at 6. I filled in today for weather, but it was a pleasure to join you guys for the last show this semester. Had a blast.
And thank you so much, John Dales, for doing an amazing job at sports throughout the semester.
Of course, really appreciate that. And go Phillies, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, that is all the time we have tonight for Citrus TV News on this Friday.
For the most up-to-date information, you can follow us on Twitter at Citrus TV News.
Now for John Dales, Jacob Goldberg, and the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Teagan Brown.
And I'm Chilekasi Adele. Have a good night and a great weekend.